What's up everyone, Blade here, and welcome back to another video of 7 Deadly Sins Origins. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be finally doing our Fire Axe Escanor showcase, and this one I've been waiting on for a little bit because I was really just trying to make sure that everything was fine when we went ahead and did this character. Been learning him a little bit more, and I do say, right, he is a very strong character, but I don't know if it's just me. I've seen a couple people say that he does feel a little underwhelming, and I'm not trying to compare him to Meliodas himself. I just feel like the character should deal a little bit more damage, but I think majority of the damage is meant for the high investment side rather than the low investment side, which is where you really see Escanor shine. But he still can do some crazy damage, so let's go over it here. Now, I don't have the best of stats on anything just yet because my stat luck has been absolutely terrible. I had to go get all the gems and stuff today as well again, but we have, of course, this axe. It's only level 2. Once we get it to level 3, obviously we get the extra amount of enhancements that come with it, which is the increased fire damage here, which is actually kind of nice. Or at least not the increased fire damage, the increased max HP from using our normal skill, which will affect his damage overall, or his buffs applicable damage, which is great. And so I do think that's going to be a lot better once I get it. But for now, that's what we're dealing with. We have, of course, this Claymore, this great sword on right now, which is my holy great sword that I always end up using. Love the holy build for him, by the way. We'll have a video for that. And then I do want to say we built him pretty okay-ish. What's really carrying us is this level 3 engravement on this set. I will be re-rolling this, especially for better set effects themselves, but it is actually really, really good. And I'm currently using the crit rate chance, or the crit chance one right now, when in reality, I think I want to start using this set effect once we get all 3. Currently, we only have 2 of the pieces, so I don't want to use it just yet. But once we get all 3, we're going to try to swap over to that. He's only potential 5 currently. I'm going to try to at least get him to potential 7 because that's where things kind of change up for his, what's it called? His play style and how he gets a lot better. But we'll see how that does go. Stats overall aren't looking the greatest. We have only 61% crit damage and 43% crit chance. Obviously, this goes up drastically once we do our buffs. If I go ahead and like set up buffs right now here for a second, and we do something like this, swap in, and we what's it called, pop off our other buff here, we are sitting at a good, let's see, sitting at a good 121% crit damage. So I mean, like, it could be better, but it still is pretty decent for what we're doing. Now, overall, our team that we're going to end up using is going to have Daisy on book. I'm currently using the Melody of Temptation. Sorry about that. My voice is a little bit screwed still. Using Melody of Temptation, this gives me my crit resistance as well, as long as I do a back attack. We're using Manny, I almost said Manny on Blazing Staff, obviously getting the first hit off. She's going to be the first person we actually take a hit with. And then we're using the Jet Black Rapier for Gila. Jeez, throat's dying today, which is kind of suckish, but we gotta deal with it. Now, I do flop between Gila on her sword and shield and Gila on her Jet Black Rapier. If I feel like I can't live, or if I'm playing with other people trying to do my carries, I usually try to use the sword and shield. Though I've been recently, or I do prefer the rapier because of course I get my burst earlier, and I don't have to use any combine ult to actually get that off. I can only just take advantage over this ult right here. Only downside is you don't have much sustainability. So we're gonna see how that does go. Now, I think the most confusing thing that's been it with me is the combination of how things just go. What I've been doing recently is I've been trying to burst first, then I end up using my normal attack into special, and then I go ahead and repeat, right? That's always been the thing that I've been going with. Now, I've seen other things that we can end up doing, such as like special into normal and then use your ult and stuff like that. It has been other ways to go about it. I'm still unsure which one I really like just yet because it just feels awkward, you know what I'm saying, for this character. But we're gonna go ahead and see what we really can do for them. So let's try and get the flare off. If you guys don't know exactly how this character works by now, first of all, you've been living under a rock. Second of all, pretty much all we need to do is get the flare. Once we get that from having a certain amount of what's it called, a certain amount of sunspots, we'll be pretty much good to go. Now I'm just gonna go ahead, boom, boom, get the decrease as well. And obviously we need to take this on down here. We got our burns, we got everything we're looking for. I'm gonna dodge that real quick, and let's swap on back in. So we want to make sure our magic points are actually pretty dang high for Escanor as well. The higher they are, the better this is going to be for damage purposes anyways. So that is really good for us. Let's go ahead and swap on in. Get our normal skill. Boom. Move this into at least the charge skill. And now he's going to go ahead and try to do some nastiness and avoid us. But bonk, get some decent damage off. Nothing too crazy. But we got some okay damage there. And we still have our buff here. So let's try to take advantage over it a little bit more. Use this as well. Bonk, bonk. Still got some decent damage off. We're kind of forced to just sit here for a second because he is making sure we can't really swap on out to take advantage over our time period. But let's go ahead and do this here. Even though technically we don't need to. That's just mainly for my magic points that I'm trying to build up here. And I want to get another burst off. So let's see if he's going to let us. He might not. Yeah, he's going to try to run the entire time. So let's bring him back to this little circle here. I'm going to use this for the burn, stab, get up the burst itself here. And now we are forced to tank this, which is perfectly fine for me. Doesn't really bother me all too much. And what we need to do is we need to get our buffs on back off here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do this just to try to draw his attention over here. We have our crit buff. Everything's ready. I think the only thing I have to do is just set up the burst, or at least not my burst, my buff here. So let's go ahead and pop back in. Boom, boom. Deal some decent damage. Oh, no, we're not even going to have enough time for it. Let's go ahead and just pop it. Decent damage. Nothing too crazy here. And go ahead and go back in. Deal decent damage. Nothing that was actually terrible damage. That wasn't even decent. I just saw that. Wait a minute. That was terrible. I think that's the worst one I've done so far for damage wise. But still, get some hits in. Get everything we want. Another burst got to come in. I think the worst part about this is the fact that one, we keep getting hit. And that's the only thing I hate. I can't base take as much as I want to because I'm so used to the sword and shield to an extent. But let's go ahead and pop this here. He's going to try that, which we're not going to let. Just slide. I'm going to go ahead and go for the ult. Bonk. Decent sunspot damage or decent damage there. And he dies. Now, I don't think I actually had my flare when I did that. So we got 248, which isn't bad, but it isn't good. I'm trying to, I think the lowest I've gotten with him has been like 220. And it's like decent, but at the same time, I'm trying to get it lower than this. For what I have right now, I think it is a work in progress. I think it is better, but at the same time, I do want to be a little bit picky about this. So, ooh, we did get a 120 ring. So, hey, we take that. We take those. Kind of sad that this ring itself is just not good for Escanor, but it is nice that it's good for everybody else. So we'll, of course, obviously check that out. But Escanor himself feels very good. He's a really good character himself. And I feel like we can get a faster run. So we're going to try to do that run over one more time after I get through checking my gear here. But I do feel like that was pretty solid. That was a pretty solid run. He's a good unit. The only problem with him is the character himself just feels like he does have a couple small issues. And I mean, the smallest of issues. And that's just coming down to, what's it called? He feels a little underwhelming. I think that's just a me thing, but I definitely feel like some other people have mentioned it in the community. But he has some very good strong suits. So let's try this again. See if we can set this up right again and not look like an idiot, of course, as per usual. Go ahead and get this on off here. I'm going to get my lock on ready because he's going to try it and just keep us down. Let's use Gila to get ready. Boom. I really don't think a shielder is fully needed as long as you're dodging. I feel like the hard part is for this is if you're not dodging, yeah, you're finna, you might get worked up. So obviously we got to make sure we have our flare. Boom, we got everything we wanted. I'm actually kind of mad because I am doing this without my buff, or at least without my crit buff. So that does suck, but hey, we got to deal with what we got at the time in which we weren't ready to really swap that. Now I swapped a little early. It's not going to hardcore hurt us, but it might miss time when we get our Gila's stuff back here. Let's go ahead and wait in the middle. Swap over the Gila. Take advantage over him doing that here. Bonk, bonk. Get him on down here. And obviously... Oh, he did that right at the wrong... Oh, I wasn't paying attention. Oh, no. I was not paying attention. That's my own fault. Oh, that made me look so dumb for a second. Whatever. So let's go ahead and get our flare off. We got the flare on off here. Let's take that hit here. Bonk, get the second stab, and I'm just gonna use it. Bonk, get another hit off, and that was no crit either. We didn't even get a crit there. We didn't even deal damage there really, which kind of sucks. But hey, we can't really be too choosy here. Now he did just use a stupid thing that allows or makes it so we can't move. So that sucks. But hey, we might be still fine. Let's go ahead and swap on in. Tag. Let's see, can I get the stab off? Yes, I can. So we got the stab off for at least a high amount of our burst, and this is still without the twisted burst set too. So I mean, like, I say for what it's worth, we are dealing decent burst damage overall, but like I feel like it definitely could be better. We're just kind of, you know, lackluster, if I'm being honest. Let's go ahead and pop this off. Boom, pop that off here, get decent damage as well. And actually we're gonna have to hold that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Bonk, bonk. He's gonna try to run. We got the flare and bop. So that did okay-ish damage. It didn't even do what I wanted. I wanted a good freaking hit right there, and they freaking cheaped me out of it, which sucks. But we got 220. There we go. That's a lot better than how it was. I do think I can go to under 2 minutes, sub 2 minutes itself. And for what our character is worth, he's not the best, right? He's pretty decent, pretty mediocre. I do think I could make him way better than what he is now. But you guys let me know, have you been actually enjoying Escanor? I do think the way I like to play him is with the burster more than sword and shield. Sword and shield does help out with the over HP, but I don't think it's fully necessary as long as things are going correctly. But you guys let me know down below how y'all feel about that and feel about the take. Isn't it L take? Is it what is it called? W take? We'll see how it goes, but I'm enjoying it. Peace out, you guys. Have a nice one.